Meghan Markle.
Meghan Markle.
Meghan Markle.
She's the modern-day princess.
She's a great catch for Harry.
She's like a Hollywood star, isn't she? He is the happiest I've ever seen him.
She is the most insecure person I have seen in the public eye in a long time. That is why everything had to be perfectly curated. Who the hell picks f***ing berries in a white cashmere blouse and white pants?
Meghan Markle's Hollywood dream is falling apart quickly, and the aftermath is getting chaotic. Not long ago, she was praised as a fresh, powerful voice, a Duchess-turned-media figure, ready to take over the spotlight on her own conditions. But now, the attention has turned critical, and the celebrities who once supported her are backing away rapidly. Insiders say Tyler Perry, who famously gave her shelter during her royal departure, is now keeping his distance. Even Oprah, once her loudest advocate after that explosive interview, has reportedly cut ties. So what went wrong? Why are all the famous friends Meghan once fought to win over now walking away? Stick with me as we explore Meghan's latest controversy and reveal the surprising ways Oprah and Tyler Perry discovered Meghan may not be as trustworthy as they once believed.
Pursuit of joy.
I can't take it anymore. Get out, get out, get out. Uncle, make it end. Make it end. What is this? Guys, I feel like I'm a very accepting person. Truly, I want to like something about her. I'm searching for something to like about her. And it's so hard because she suffers from such a rare disorder of being unable to just be a human.
Now Meghan Markle's fall from Hollywood grace is playing out like a real-life soap opera, and the twists just keep escalating. Once celebrated as a modern icon, Meghan now stands at the center of a public reckoning that has shaken her image to the core. The Duchess, who once commanded global media attention and elite celebrity circles, is now witnessing her closest allies drift away and her once ambitious media ventures fade into silence. Not long ago, Meghan was backed by influential supporters. Tyler Perry offered her shelter. Oprah Winfrey gave her a worldwide stage. But now, those very figures are said to be pulling away. Rumors of tense relationships and quiet dissatisfaction behind the curtain are growing louder, with industry sources suggesting Meghan may have pushed too far. The media empire she tried to build, with bold promises of changing narratives and seizing control, has come to a standstill. The Spotify deal collapsed abruptly. Her Netflix presence has all but vanished. And the public trust she claimed to hold? It's wearing thin. Critics say the polished exterior masked a strategy more rooted in playing the victim than in delivering real depth. But this backlash goes beyond a failed podcast or a canceled deal. It's about trust, influence, and what unfolds when public favor turns on someone once seen as untouchable. To make matters worse, the empire Meghan relocated across the globe to create is starting to fracture, and financial uncertainty is growing. Partnerships are dissolving, and projects once hyped as revolutionary have gone quiet. With Spotify walking away and Netflix allegedly re-evaluating future work, insiders are questioning whether the Meghan brand still carries any weight in the entertainment world. It's a dramatic turnaround for someone who once dominated headlines and charmed audiences. Her credibility is being challenged, and so is her place in Hollywood's future. Is this the curtain call for Meghan's Hollywood chapter, or the opening act of a new struggle for relevance? One thing is clear, Meghan's shine is dimming and the pressure has never been higher. A strong sign of this came at the recent BET Awards. What was meant to be a night of celebration instead turned into a viral moment that rocked the industry. Meghan Markle ended up in the center of a very public backlash, and the messenger? None other than Tyler Perry. Perry took the stage, planning to give an emotional tribute, but what followed left the audience in stunned silence. "You can't build a palace on unpaid bills," he said. Crowd was shocked. It wasn't just a clever jab, it was a pointed, deliberate statement that landed with impact. Insiders say Perry's comment wasn't improvised, stemmed from long-standing frustration. Sources allege that despite Perry's considerable kindness, Meghan never reimbursed the support he offered during a difficult chapter in her life. That silence, that failure to give back, may have driven one of her strongest supporters to finally speak out, and he chose the most public platform to do it. But Perry's wasn't the only silence felt that night. Oprah Winfrey, once Meghan's most vocal advocate, has reportedly gone completely quiet. Her team at Harpo Productions hasn't publicly mentioned Meghan in months. It's a jarring shift from someone who helped shape Meghan's media comeback with that headline-grabbing 2021 interview. This sudden retreat by two of Hollywood's most influential figures sends a loud signal. Meghan's influence is fading, and fast. Once embraced by the entertainment elite, she's now met with cold shoulders and shut doors. Her fall from media sweetheart to Hollywood outsider is happening in real time, and the effects could define her entire career. What many don't realize is that Meghan had long been eager to befriend major celebrities like Oprah. Meghan and Harry's 2018 royal wedding wasn't just a fairy tale love story. It was a meticulously planned, star-packed event. The guest list was less about lifelong friends and more about showcasing Hollywood's biggest names. Oprah Winfrey, George and Amal Clooney, and a parade of top-tier stars filled the seats at St. George's Chapel. But royal biographer Tina Brown claims it wasn't just a celebration of old friendships, it was strategic branding. In her explosive book The Palace Papers, Brown asserted that the guest list reflected not Meghan's close circle but the people she most wanted to align with. In other words, Meghan was laying the foundation of her empire, one high-profile introduction at a time. And here's where things get even more interesting. Tyler Perry.
He wasn't even part of that original royal inner circle. His name wasn't anywhere near the velvet ropes in 2018. In fact, Perry only entered the scene after Meghan and Harry's explosive break from the royal family, during a time when they felt isolated, criticized, and desperate for support. That's when Tyler Perry stepped in. He offered them his Beverly Hills estate to stay in. He arranged private security when no one else stepped up. He gave them safety and a voice. And that level of support earned him more than just appreciation. Eventually, Harry named him godfather to their daughter Lilibet. That role wasn't just honorary, it carried weight, symbolized his shift from industry contact to trusted inner circle. But now, with Perry pulling away and publicly expressing what many interpret as a sense of betrayal, it raises the question, was this ever real friendship or just a calculated move from the beginning? To make matters worse, Meghan is reportedly being quietly dropped by Hollywood's top PR agencies, with insiders citing a rising term, the Markle risk factor, meaning she's no longer viewed as a reliable bet, she's seen as a liability. It's a dramatic downfall. Her Netflix deal, once estimated at $100 million, has fallen short in ways no one predicted. The animated series Pearl was cancelled before it ever aired. Her documentary series, pitched as a defining project, was broadly criticized for lacking depth and personality. Then came her $20 million Spotify deal, which collapsed after just 12 podcast episodes that failed to resonate with both listeners and critics. Behind the scenes, Spotify executives were blunt. They labeled the partnership a failure and openly voiced their frustration with Meghan's involvement. And it didn't end there. Her most recent teaser for a podcast revival fell flat, barely making a sound in the industry. Hollywood noticed. Her biggest supporters are stepping away, and for most, it's personal. Behind closed doors, her team is reportedly in chaos. PR sources say morale has hit rock bottom. There's been a string of staff resignations, and instead of focusing on new ventures, the team is now locked in full-scale damage control. The once polished image Meghan projected is now tangled in bad publicity, failed collaborations, and quiet accusations of manipulation. But perhaps the most damaging blow is the scrutiny around her nonprofit, the Archwell Foundation. Financial regulators and nonprofit legal analysts are raising concerns about possible self-dealing, inflated consultant fees, and expenses that don't quite match the books. Some insiders claim the foundation appears successful on paper, but internally it's struggling to remain viable. Delayed payments and questionable reports have triggered increasing suspicion around the legitimacy of Meghan's charitable work. What once looked like a bold, misunderstood woman escaping royal limitations now seems like something much less flattering. Within Hollywood, the sentiment is shifting. Meghan Markle is no longer seen as brave or misjudged, but as calculated, untrustworthy, and overly self-interested. In a business where reputation is everything, Meghan's may be too damaged to recover. Doors are shutting. The spotlight is fading. And the empire she poured everything into is buckling under the weight of its own ambitions. Meghan Markle's rise from royal outcast to Hollywood powerhouse was once a media sensation. Now it's becoming a warning tale. What started as a courageous rebrand has unraveled into a public relations disaster. With her reputation under fire and her once loyal allies slipping away, Meghan, once admired as a figure of empowerment, a woman who boldly left behind royal traditions, is watching her influence crumble. From multi-million-dollar contracts and headline-generating interviews to a media brand that once appeared unstoppable, Meghan seemed invincible. But times have changed dramatically. One by one, her key allies have gone quiet. High-profile figures who once stood by her have pulled back, and insiders continue to leak reports of dysfunction, internal chaos, and rising desperation. Then there's the financial pressure. The Archewell Foundation is now under investigation, with watchdog groups flagging potential self-dealing and shady expense claims. What was once praised as a hub for social progress is now facing serious doubts about integrity and purpose. In a world built on perception and credibility, Meghan's public image is collapsing fast. The narrative has shifted from courageous pioneer to unstable operator. And in Hollywood, once the trust is gone, the rejection is swift and unforgiving. So now the lights dim and the pressure intensifies. Can Meghan reinvent herself again and regain command of her story? Or has her carefully curated persona unraveled beyond repair? One thing is clear, the fairy tale is over. And whatever comes next will shape Meghan Markle's legacy, not by her words but by her actions. So what's your take on this Meghan controversy? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to check out our other videos for even more jaw-dropping celebrity drama. Until next time, bye guys.